All right, welcome back to the channel. Eddie Hearn has got to be, man, one of the smartest dummies on the planet, man. Or he's just so patently dishonest. What's the best way to say, dude? He's just so sneaky that he's too sneaky for his own good, man. And that's why I really do believe that is why he really has failed in the United States to sign a lot of big fighters. And one of the key examples of this is something that he said about the fight he's trying to set up with Jamal Charlo and Demetrius Andrade. He said he made a huge offer to Demetrius Andrade, but in listening to what he said, just as somebody who, man, I've been involved in a lot of business deals. And I'm telling you, people that do what Eddie Hearn does over time, man, that stuff comes back to bite them. In the American culture, it comes back to bite them. But let me explain what that is in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you're not subscribed, I hope you accept my invitation to subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. Also, special thank you to everybody that is a member of all of the 3 areas, that are members of the 3 areas that we have on our channel. On this channel, we produce videos on a daily basis. We have we have a Patreon channel, and we do live streams Monday through Friday and on Sunday. Those are the 3 things that we really do, the 3 different type of content that we put out. And I appreciate everybody that supports in the Patreon. Thank you to everybody that has joined as a member of the channel and watch the videos on a regular basis, and the people that come by the live streams Monday through Friday and OG Boxing Talk on Sunday. Thank you guys so much for supporting the content and helping us, reach the goals that we have and that we're trying to reach. Now, let's get into this. All right, so shout out to my man, I think it's Jevin Bay out of Twitter. If you don't know who Jevin is, JEVAN_Bay. I follow him on Twitter. And this guy puts out a lot of really good stuff. And I was watching one of his Twitter feeds today, and he said he put up a clip of Eddie Hearn talking about the Demetrius Andrade Charlo fight, and how Eddie Hearn had made a massive offer to Jamal Charlo for that fight, and how Jamal Charlo, should accept that fight, right? Now, I don't have any doubt that Eddie Hearn would have made a big offer for Jamal Charlo. I don't doubt that. It is well publicized, and I think it's reasonable to believe that DAZN has a lot of money, and they're definitely looking for somebody for Demetrius Andrade to fight. Now, this is where the issue with Eddie Hearn comes in. Eddie Hearn, even though maybe in his mind wants to make that fight, he behaves in a way that makes it more likely that the fight will not happen. This is what he said. He said that Tim Smith, who's a vice president at the PBC, I do believe that he's over like media relations, but the PBC's organization itself, even though I've never been to their offices, I've never spoken to them, but just looking at how the organization seems to be structured and the different, from the outside looking in, the organization cannot be that big, right? I doubt very much that they've got more than, I doubt they have 50 independent, 50 full-time employees in between all of Al Haymon's operations, because it seems like it's structured more on a core group of people and partnerships with people that either have their own company, right? Like a Kelly Swanson, who is a media relations person, who is responsible for media relations, but she's outsourced. She has her own company. You also have the people that they would deal with that produce like videos for the Fox programming, right? But the people that produce those videos for Fox actually work for Fox, but they are pretty much like project managers assigned to working on the PBC event. So, you take out, and I'm not including the fighters, okay? Because the fighters are the fighters. I mean people that actually run the organization. You're going to have, Al Haymon, who's going to be, I guess, the CEO. You'll have a guy that's a chief finance guy. You probably have some administrative people in there for human resources that are going to be making sure people get their checks, and doing that. So you have people in the finance department. You have people in human resources. You got people in media. You've got the people that are actually responsible, for maybe scouting fighters or whatever. But it's hard for me to believe for like 200 boxers and 2 different networks that they would have to have that many people that they deal with on a day that actually work for the PBC. It's not a 10,000 person corporation. It is the way that I look at it, it seems like it is maybe a highly profitable, highly successful, small Black owned business. And when you saying a small business, you're talking about anything making really less than, $150 million a year. That's when you're looking at gigantic corporations like the big ones like Google and Apple and things like that. Those are really big companies. They've got government contractors that are doing. Anyway, I'm getting into more of the business side. Forgive me. Regardless, so communication with the PBC. My point of bringing that up is that that's going to be That's going to be kind of a tight-knit organization. Everybody's going to pretty much know what everybody's doing from what I can see on the outside looking in. So Eddie Hearn said this. Eddie Hearn said that he went straight to Jermall Charlo for the fight. That's who he offered it to, because Tim Smith said, where is this offer? We've never seen this offer. He said he made this big offer. Where's this big offer? Eddie Hearn said, well, I went straight to the fighter. It's in my rights to go straight to the fighter because they're not under a promotional contract. That right there is a problem because they do have a relationship. Just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should do something. Okay? That's the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Just because you can do something doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do. And it doesn't mean that it's going to actually help you accomplish your goal. Okay? Once somebody, if you are a 35-year-old man who is a friend, who has a friend, right, who has a daughter that just turned, let's say you're a 43-year-old man and you have a friend that you went to high school with, that daughter just turned 19. It is within your right to try to date the daughter and have a relationship with the daughter because the daughter's an adult. You can do it, but it would probably be best for your health not to do it. Okay? So the fact that Eddie Hearn can send an offer directly to Jermall Charlo doesn't mean that he should send an offer to Jermall Charlo, because we all know that Jermall Charlo is advised by Al Haymon. That offer is going to have to go to Al Haymon. It is going to have to go and be reviewed and negotiated with the people that negotiate the deals for Jermall Charlo. I have never talked to Jermall Charlo in my life. I've never talked to Al Haymon in my life. And I know that if I wanted my fighter to fight Jermall Charlo, that I need to talk to Jermall Charlo's manager. I need to talk to Jermall Charlo's advisor. And if I try to go around them, that is going to isolate me from the people that manage them. Because there is a protocol. Not everything that is legal to do is smart to do. Okay? Now, Eddie, that's why I'm saying either Eddie Hearn really doesn't want to fight, or Eddie Hearn just doesn't have much sense, and he's just he's so used to being manipulative and such a control freak that he's not going to be able to actually have a conversation with the PBC about making a fight, because he wants it his way or the highway. Because the PBC might say, okay, yeah, you want to fight Jermall Charlo and Demetrius Andrade? Hey, how about Demetrius Andrade come over to Fox? Or he comes over to Showtime. All right, where's the money? How much money is going to be made? No, he wants to go directly to Jermall Charlo to see if he could convince Jermall Charlo to maybe sign a promotional deal with him, maybe stick a piece of paper in Jermall Charlo's hand and have him sign it. Why would Jermall Charlo do that? Jermall Charlo is not a boxing manager. Jermall Charlo has a team of people around him that he's trusted for his fights for his whole career. Why would he go out of that loop to deal with you? It just makes no sense. And it's just something that makes me say, man, this is why Eddie Hearn's not going to be successful in the United States. And and that's why he's not been successful getting any of those PBC fighters that he wants to get. Pulling off Danny Jacobs, because Danny Jacobs has proven that Daniel Jacobs is just basically an unloyal person. Okay, the mystery is solved about why Daniel Jacobs went with Eddie Hearn, because Daniel Jacobs is the same type of person Eddie Hearn is. And you can see that's it. You can see that in Daniel Jacobs from what Daniel Jacobs did to his trainer when he refused to pay the dude the money that once he got that really big payday, he refused to pay on the Canelo fight. He refused to pay Andre Rozier and hired another trainer. He's just a disloyal jackass himself. That's Daniel Jacobs. So Daniel Jacobs and Eddie Hearn, you can strike that type of deal. But a lot of those guys are not that type of person. Most people are not that type. Most people are not that type of people. They know if somebody had helped them out, somebody got them out of a situation, and like the Golden Boy situation where all these guys were stuck up underneath the rug by Oscar De La Hoya, and none of them were being featured. These guys would have still been ballroom fighters, club fighters, if it was left to Oscar De La Hoya. But once they got over to the PBC, and the PBC is being honest with them, telling them how they can make their money, getting them consistent paydays, getting them consistent fights, getting them exposure, why would they just turn their back on Eddie Hearn, on Al Haymon and the PBC to go with you? Most people are not going to be that way. There are some opportunistic people that are that way, but I would suggest that when you get rid of people, when there are people that do that, you're actually doing the PBC a favor by getting rid of them, because it's just going to be a matter of time before the first opportunity they have to screw them over, they're going to take it. So anyway, that's my take on it. Eddie Hearn, that's just not the brightest way to go about things, man. If you really want to make a deal, hey, just call Al Haymon or call the manager. Give them the offer, negotiate the offer with Al Haymon, let Al Haymon then take that offer and then go talk to Jermall Charlo about it. And you stay in the order of you do business in the fashion in the way that you know is most likely to make the deal, not in a way that you know you're gonna for sure offend somebody just because you're trying to get over. Anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.